Hey guys, what is up? It is your friendly neighborhood Ubus here, back again with another Isaac Breaking Run. This time we're going to start with Monster's Lung, which I actually haven't done in a long time, which is surprising. At least to me, because I really like Monster's Lung as an item. Whoops. You can get 3 cents out of that, if you don't fuck it up like a dumb idiot, also known as me. But yeah, Monster's Lung is sweet. Has a lot of synergies in the game. Hopefully more come Afterbirth, which I would like to remind you again to pre-purchase it for half the price. And in the United States, that comes out to $6.66, which I can't help but assume was intentional. And then tax, and it ruins the joke. But regardless, it's very cheap if you purchase Afterbirth right now. So do it. You dummy. I'm sorry, you didn't deserve that. I didn't need to call you a dummy. That's on me. I'm sorry about that. Maybe I was just projecting. Alright. Okay. So I'm gonna grab that, but I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna do the order in a very peculiar way, and you'll know why in a minute. So I'm gonna go back to our curse room first and see what we get popping out of these. And then party and bad gas. Not great, but at the very least we know 2 of our pills, which is not great, but at the very least we know 2 of our pills. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this. So it gave us HP up, which is the opposite of what I expected. Our tears went down. It looks like damage went up, right? Start at 2 bars, I think. I always forget if you start at 2 or 3 bars. Well, every stat does get affected, so it either went up or down. And considering I'm uncertain whether or not I start at 2 or 3 bars of damage, I'm gonna assume it went up. Tear rate definitely went down though, which is unfortunate. Damage is absolutely up. Okay. So you do start at 2 bars, which makes sense because, yeah, no, that's just true. Although it's weird, I'll admit it's weird because you start at 2 bars of damage, but you start at 3.5 damage. So the bars are like not a great measure of your. Ooh, I think this works, right? I think this just decreases the charge time, right? Doesn't quite look like it. However, it does seem to be increasing the size of the tears, which in turn most likely increases the damage of the tears. Or maybe I just have a horrible perception of the situation, and it's done literally nothing but change the color palette. Doesn't matter to me, though. I think our damage is up. I think chocolate milk is a damage up in this circumstance. God, I don't know why. I don't know what it is about recording videos that just makes my nose and, like, I don't know, just all of me just feel fucking sick all the goddamn time. I don't know what it is. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling great, you know. I intentionally took extra time to try and, I guess, wake up and, like, prepare for the recording of the episode. Just to ensure, you know, that this exact circumstance where I feel like poop and I feel like my nose is just a faucet, I wanted to avoid that happening. And I was like, yeah, I feel great. Everything's great. I feel awesome today. And then I clicked the record button, and then I'm just like, oh, I have a cold and I'm a sick mess. And now it sounds like I've got a fucking stuffy nose perpetually. And I hate it. But, oh well, whatever. So our damage is, like, insane right now. This is nuts. Oh, hell yeah. So, Mysterious Liquid with Monstrous Lung is actually one of my favorite synergies in the game. Just because it looks so cool. And it's just generally good. Alright, I'm not going to go all the way. I might go all the way if we do find a reason to, such as a boss gauntlet room. However, without the actual motivation, I'm just going to, you know, lose a little bit of the health and then call it good. I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to buy this. Which might seem weird, but we only have one bomb. And however much I shit talk bombs, as opposed to keys, you do need bombs. They're very important. Well, you don't literally need bombs. You want bombs. You do need keys, while you generally just kind of want bombs. But still, I really want bombs. I also then immediately got lucky, which makes it seem as if I'm unlucky because I wasted 5 cents. There was no way to avoid that. Classic default damage room. Just absolutely classic. Goddamn, man. Alright. Let's do this. I just need to not get hit twice. That's all I need at this point. I need to avoid taking red heart damage, which shouldn't be too big of a problem against Double Pin, especially considering he's now dead. Didn't get a deal with the devil, but growth hormones is really good, so I'm not upset about it. And, yeah, let's just go. So, I've done some thinking. Uh-oh. Right? No, but so a couple months ago, a few months ago, some number of months ago, in fact, maybe even a year ago at this point. I'm not quite certain when the idea first popped into my head. I had an idea for a video game. And then I was like, hey, I might as well just try and learn some programming on my own. And then a combination of just being bored out of my brain while trying to learn it, and just it being kind of, I don't know, generally frustrating, the scripting part. I pretty much said fuck it and put it on hold. But now I'm getting the drive again, you know. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll probably be using Unity because it's a fairly fleshed out engine from what I understand. And also the whole shit on Unity thing is done, over and done with. But my game idea, I don't really want to give too much info out, because I would kind of like it to be somewhat a surprise. I mean, I've told a lot of people about it, but I don't know. It's basically, it would be a classic kind of arcade-esque platformer. Think Super Meat Boy, but not actually Super Meat Boy. Very, very different from Super Meat Boy, but similar-ish, you know. I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm just fucking, I don't know. Because it's the thing that popped in my head last night, I guess. But I already have, like, a lot of ideas for it, and, my brother said he'd help me out with, like, sprite art and such if I wanted it. And honestly, his art style seems like the perfect kind of art style for the game I have in mind. So this doesn't work at all, right? Not gonna take it yet, though. Alright. I would like money, please. I would desperately want money. I really, really want money. You aren't money! Basically, I just really want Black Candle. Black Candle's like one of the most important items in my book. For a one run. Hey! There we go. This works out perfectly. So now I can buy... Well, hang on, actually. I'm gonna... Okay. Hang on. I have a plan. I have a thought. Let's find our secret room. Money? Money? Money. Alright. Beautiful. Ooh. I'll take a matchstick. Yeah, that seems sweet. And then I might as well crack this puppy open. Now that I shouldn't have any problem with bomb drops. And we got a Perthrow, which is awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, alright. So now we can get this, which makes this half-priced. And then we're 1 cent short of the other shit, which I kind of didn't think about. Kind of wish I wasn't 1 cent short. Oh well. I'm sure we'll be okay. Oh, you know what? You know why I thought of the game idea? Okay. It's because of Mysterious Liquid. And it also kind of has to do with the whole Super Meat Boy thing. The idea being generally along the lines that, let's imagine, so in Super Meat Boy, right? I don't want to really state specifics, but I'd like to give an idea at least. So in Super Meat Boy, when you move, you leave this like meat trail, right? This just kind of red meat trail wherever you go, right? Every tile that you move over gets a red meat trail. And, you know, when you die, it splatters over and spreads more and shit. The idea is to essentially create a platformer with that sort of mechanic, however, make it relevant to gameplay. And I have a lot of ideas on how to do that. And it's weird, because the idea started out as something like very, very distinctly different, and then kind of just evolved into the idea that I have now because of gameplay, basically. Like, I thought to myself, like, my first idea was essentially, and it was really bad, I'm just gonna warn you right now, as I'm explaining this, it'll sound awful. But my first idea was essentially, you know, just make it kind of like an adventure 2D platformer similar to the Knit games. I think Knit Stories, what are they called? Knit something? Whatever. Those games. You know what I'm talking about if you know of the games, and if you don't, then it's irrelevant. The point is they're 2D adventure platformers with like, you know, puzzles and kind of just generally good atmosphere. And they're very interesting. They're very cool games. So the idea was to do something like that. However, have it so you left a meat trail, a trail similar to the meat trail from Super Meat Boy. And then at the end of the level, at the end of the chunk of levels, or the end of the zone, right? At the end of the something, the camera would like zoom out, and it would show you that you like made a picture with your trail, right? Like, that was the initial idea, and I'm like, that's a cool idea, but that's not really, you know, it doesn't really, there's no gameplay purpose for the trail, right? It literally does nothing in this circumstance aside from look pretty. And I mean, you know, at the end of the level, I could literally just have, like, a picture, you know? And it wouldn't matter. And also through the wonders of, what do you call it? I guess the specific, I don't know what you'd call it, but like, you know, you can take a grid of pictures to create a bigger picture. Through the magic of that, I could literally just show any picture and it would be like, yeah, it works, right? So it seemed overall to be a not very good idea. A not very lucrative endeavor. And they kind of evolved from there. To me, thinking about how I could make it gameplay relevant, which I do think I know the answer I want to roll with at this point. It's just a matter of actually teaching myself how to fucking use Unity and shit. At the very least, I want to, you know, fuck it. I don't know how this will interact. Yeah, it works fine. At the very least, I want to, like, you know, create an alpha, I suppose, of the game. Just to see if, like, you know, my concept can actually, like, hold any water or whatever. I mean, the thing is, I'm not a programmer at all. I have no experience with it, so. Even if I were to create a game, even through, like, Unity, the difficulty would come from the fact that I wouldn't know, it would all be, like, you know, self-taught, and I don't know, it'd be a mess. And then if a bug shows up, I'd probably break it way more, and it would be awful. But the goal would be have it simple enough that the gameplay carries it, so the complexity of the game couldn't create bugs, essentially. I mean, obviously, you're never going to have a game that just is completely devoid of bugs, but, you know, if the game is simple enough, if the gameplay is non-complex enough, then you can avoid game-breaking bugs, at least. And that's kind of the goal. I don't know, I'm always a fan of simple games. Says the guy who plays Binding of Isaac, World of Warcraft, and fucking Dota 2. Yeah, okay, alright. I guess that doesn't... you don't believe me. That's okay. But I do. I appreciate games that are just simplistic in nature. And the complexity comes from, I guess, the control scheme in a lot of cases. Not necessarily a literally complex control scheme, such as fighting games, which are ass, in my opinion. I really don't like fighting games, just because the method of control is just overly complex, unnecessarily complex. Like, there's no reason to have quarter circle moves, in my opinion. I think there's legitimately no beneficial gameplay reason to have quarter circle moves. Now, quarter circle moves aren't necessarily difficult, but it just adds a layer of complexity that doesn't need to be there. Which is why I generally dislike fighting games, aside from certain ones like Super Smash Bros., which a lot of people try to call not a fighting game. But I like Smash Bros. Because the control scheme is incredibly simplistic, yet simultaneously allows for complexity, right? So, in Smash Bros., if you've somehow never played a Super Smash Bros. Game in your life, I didn't need to come here, but I guess I do kind of want to show up. If you've never played Super Smash Bros. In your goddamn life, it's very simple, the control scheme. So basically, what you do, right, is you have your two buttons, your A and B, right? And then you have your directions, and then of course you have jump button, which fucking whatever. I use Y, all right? Everybody has their own personal preference. That's the other good thing about Smash Bros, specifically Brawl and Smash 4. I don't believe, yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't exist in Melee. But you can customize your control scheme. So let's say you want jump on L or something. Let's say you're a weirdo who played Halo like that. Yeah, these aren't really good. I'm not gonna waste per throw there. So you can alter the control scheme to whatever you feel, but most people generally use default, and just certain people will use X to jump and certain people will use Y. And this is on a GameCube controller, of course, because using any other controller for Smash Bros. Is actually just heresy, so. Well, unless you're playing Smash 64. But anyway, I digress. You have A, B, and directions, right? When you do a combination of buttons, right? So, well, not even a combination of buttons. You don't do combinations of buttons unless you're grabbing, but they have Z for grab if you don't want to do a combination of buttons. So basically all you do is, if you want to use a special attack, that's on B. If you want to use a regular attack, that's on A. And the direction that you hit simultaneously to the button hitting, or before, whatever, that changes what the attack is, right? So you can have tilts, which is just holding the direction, and you can have smashes, which is hitting the direction simultaneously to the button. And you can just, for a smash, you can literally just smash, right? Which can also be, you can use the C stick for, where you just go, you know, left and A, that's a forward smash, or right and A is a forward smash, because the direction is irrelevant. And you can either just immediately release A, and then it'll immediately release it, and that's essentially what the C stick does, except the C stick will always be faster than you, because you're a human being. It'll always release faster than you, and it'll probably always start up faster than you. So if you're trying to get good at melee, C stick is your buddy. And then if you can actually, with smash attacks, you can hold the A button and continue charging the smash attack, which just strictly adds power. However, you stay in a charge up animation longer, which means that your opponent can see it coming and can react to it and all this other stuff, all these other implications and such. And like, the other thing is you can also do aerials. So if you're in the air and you hit the A button, you have a completely new set of normal attacks. Without smashes this time, they're all essentially aerial tilts. And it's very, very cool because there's just this complete freeform, right? So there are combos in Smash games, even though Nintendo really dislikes the idea of combos. They do exist. In fact, they mostly exist in older ones, but Smash 4 has been known to have a good number of combos that have been a little bit on the silly side. But, you know, unlike a regular fighting game, you don't need to have, you know, mastery over these combos, memorization of these combos in order to compete. It's not a prerequisite like other fighting games. In other fighting games, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. That's fine though. So in other fighting games, right, let's say you're playing, shit, what's a fighting game that I hate? All of them? Fuck me. Damn it. Shit. I'm getting peeved. What about, what, like Tekken? What's a fight? Yeah, let's just say Tekken. Fuck it. I don't know anything about Tekken, but all I understand is that in Tekken there's a lot of combos. Oh wow, there's not even any more rooms. We fucking mega lost. So let's say in Tekken, right? You wanna get better at Tekken. Well, what do? All you do, probably, and again, I don't really know shit about Tekken, so I apologize if this is entirely inaccurate and is painting the game improperly. However, I believe I'm roughly correct in this. So let's say in Tekken you want to get good. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to read up on what moves combo into what, and then you're going to just perform them. You're going to practice them via repetition, just this sequence of buttons. And then when you actually play the game, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna hit the sequence of buttons once an opening presents itself, right? And that opening is the interaction part. Deciding when to take an opening is the interaction part. The actual performing of it is not the interaction. Assuming everybody is incredible at the game, there's going to be nothing about the actual combo itself that takes skill, right? There's going to be no actual difference between anybody's specific combos, because there are certain combos that are best to do in specific situations, and assuming that everybody has the motor skills to perform them, then nobody's going to fuck them up, and it'll always essentially be the same. In a game like Smash Bros., sure, there can be optimal moves in certain circumstances. There can be combos that you should be doing under certain circumstances. But at the end of the day, it's a much more free-form experience, where the gameplay comes into play pretty much constantly, especially because the movement is freeform. Like, in Melee, specifically, of course, you have wave dashing, which is an incredible thing to exist in a game like that. One of the best things to exist in a game like that, because it gives you true freedom. It gives you actual choice over how you want to cross the stage. If you're playing a classical fighting game, what you're going to do to cross the stage, to go towards your opponent, is you're going to hold the direction towards them. Now, yeah, okay, there's movement tech in certain fighting games to get there slightly faster, but nothing even remotely close to the fact that in Smash Bros, if you want to move towards your opponent, you've got just, you know, infinite, not literally, you know what I mean. You've got so many ways to fucking do it that it's just unreasonable to like try and point out one that would have been better than others. Sure, you can point out one that ends up being worse or something like that, but in general, the best way to cross an area, to cross a gap in Smash Bros. Isn't even a thing that people talk about, because it's up to personal preference and also what you're planning on doing upon getting there. For example, in with wave dashing, you can wave dash into a smash attack. So you can essentially slide towards your opponent while charging a smash attack, which allows you to, of course, hit them much harder than you would if you were just to wave dash and maybe, I don't know, jab them or something, or wave dash into a grab or something like that. And then, depending on character, you have even more ways to cross the stage, and it's this whole thing. And then you have stage dynamics, where, and I'm not specifically referring to stages where there is something actively happening on the stage's part. I mean just the idea of holding center stage. Now, in classical fighting games, of course, you don't want to be in the corner, because that's where you get comboed, right? Corner is the combo corner, I guess, the combo corridor corner. You don't want to be in the corner in a classical fighting game, right? You want to be somewhere not near the corner, right? Which is it's very vague, and it's still like 80% of the floor, right? So it's not even like a huge deal, you know? Like, you just, as long as you can avoid being exactly in the corner, my computer doesn't know what to do. My poor computer. I had a feeling something like this would happen. Holy shit, I'm lagging so bad. This is hilarious, actually. I'm glad I picked these items up. So yeah, in a classical fighting game, it's very much just stay away from the corner. Your specific positioning is pretty much irrelevant. If you talk about Smash Bros, it's very, very particular. You really do want center stage almost all the time. Like, actual center stage is very relevant, because if you get hit, it's because your opponent is moving towards you, right? They move into your zone, they get close to you, and then they hit you. Meaning it's either going to be a weaker hit, a less prepared hit, more of an instinctual sort of reactionary hit, or at the very least, you're not going to go even remotely close to the blast zones, which is the other thing that Smash Bros. Has over classical fighting games, is the fact that instead of it being dumb and based on health, the game doesn't end just when one person hits the other guy enough, right? The game ends when somebody fails to recover, which makes recovery actually relevant in the game. Just innately relevant due to that fact. Which means that characters with better recovery are generally better. And it's just this whole super complex formula of a lot of really unique interactions that makes Smash Bros. Really good, in my opinion. And I'd still, I don't know, I really don't like classical fighting games, because all it really feels like, shit, I don't know. It feels like classical fighting games. This is going to be a just horrible comparison. I'm not even going to go into it. It's going to be like a chess checkers situation, but it's not really a very good comparison of the things. Yeah, why did I not pop this earlier? And why am I putting in the... Whatever, I'm taking it, so it's fine. Yeah, and the other thing is, right? All of this complexity in choices, in individuality, right? That's the other thing about Smash Bros. When you're watching somebody play, you know who the fuck it is. It's not even like a question of who it is. Like if you see, for example, like Leffen. Let's take the Leffen versus Chillin money match from fuck, what event was it? Whatever, it was a Salty Sweet at some event semi-recently. Let's take that for example, right? First of all, poor Chillin, RIP. But if you look at that matchup, there is no question which player is which Fox, and it's not a matter of the colors that they chose, the costumes they chose. It's not a matter of which one was better, although Leffen absolutely trashed Chillin. But what it is just looking at movement. You can deduce which one is which. Like a 5-second clip somewhere in the middle of the match. Anywhere. Even when neither gets a hit on the other, you can figure out which one is which. Right? Because there's so much freedom and everybody has their own kind of... It's almost like an expression sort of thing. And like, all of this freedom in the game, all of this complexity in Smash Bros. Stems from one of the most simplistic control schemes in fighting games, right? So just because something is simple doesn't mean it can't be similarly complex in a different measure, right? And that's why I like Smash Bros. And that's why I like games that are just much more simplistic, and the complexity comes from somewhere else rather than the control scheme. Like, hey, remember these 84 buttons and good luck. You know. So anyway, thanks for watching. That was a kind of game theory talk sort of episode, but yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and do all that sweet shit. And I mean, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one, where maybe, I don't know, we could talk about more game theory. I do like game theory. It's a very interesting concept that is very near and dear to me as a person who has played video games my entire life. Well, at least my entire conscious life. I don't remember much before I played video games. So yeah, it's cool to me. I love it. But yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.